Well, greetings y'all. Old Fart Key Wester here, interrupting my Let's Play of Battle for Middle-earth. Never fear, we will get back to the evil campaign and be destroying some Elven camps, and an entire Entmoot. We'll get to assassinate Treebeard and do all sorts of fun stuff. But in the meantime, the last time I started posting videos about this a couple of years ago when the first game first became prominent, some of the critics posted remarks that there was nothing about tactics, there was nothing about skirmish mode. What I was doing at that time was I was attempting to give a flavor of the game in a 10-minute video, so I did the opening cinema and the closing cinema and the starting cinema for both the good and the evil campaigns. And I wanted to squeeze that all into 10 minutes. But it occurs to me that some people may be wondering about skirmish mode. Now, in my view, skirmish mode in this game, as in many games, is almost worth the price of the game itself if it's well done. And in this case, it's very well done. Skirmish mode, for those not familiar with it, is where you get to play either against another player or against the computer. In this case, it'll be me against the computer. And instead of a campaign, that is a series of maps or levels strung together, you play basically one map. You're both plopped down on the map and you fight to the death. And you get rated according to your victories or losses. And it's generally a fun thing. The possibilities in this game are endless because in the main game you only get to be good or evil, which means you pretty much have to accept what the game chooses. So you're going to be either Rohan, for example, against Isengard, or you're going to be Sauron versus Gandalf. And there are other possibilities. For example, how about Gandalf versus Gandalf? How about Rohan versus Rohan? The Rohan gets Ents, you know. You could put your good Ents against someone else's evil Ents, or the blue versus the red, or whatever. And possibilities are, you know, imagine two Gandalfs having to fight each other, and or two Rohan kings, two hobbits for that matter. Anyway, the possibilities are mind-boggling. So let's get on to the actual setup for skirmish play. Now here we are at the main menu. Solo play or multiplayer. Multiplayer takes you online. Solo play takes you to either the campaign or to skirmish. And of course, as we know, if you've been watching the earlier videos, Battle School is the tutorial. So let's choose solo play here. And then we'll choose skirmish mode. Now here we are. This is a skirmish map setup. There are a lot of maps you can play. You can either play the official map, or you can play player-made maps, and there are lots of them out there you can download. These range from here, which are the two, here's the starting point for the two players. General idea of the terrain. I'm player 1, so I can choose there. Player 2 will start there, or you can do it the other way around. At any rate, that is a two starting points and two castles, basically. You start at your castles. Now at the other end of the scale, let's move down to the old brown lands, and you find there are 8 possibilities, and you can start your two teams, say here and here, or there and there, or wherever you want to. And you can actually capture additional castles and use them as resources. One of my favorite tactics in playing this map is to get a couple more castles and put all resources inside them, such as farms. Give them a good defense, build up their walls, and use them as resource generators, because the skirmish, just as in the main game, is a battle for resources. Without resources, you can't do anything. You can create a player profile, and here are the nicknames of players joining the game. I'll be playing the easy army this time because it's for an LP, not for my own play. Now, you can play as Gondor, Isengard, Mordor, or Rohan. And you can fight Isengard, Rohan, Gondor, or Mordor. In this case, I'm playing against Isengard, Saruman's troops, and I'm playing as Gondor. You can choose your team colors, and down here it keeps a record, and your next level. I need to win 3 points in order to get to the next level. I'm at medium now, medium level, but I'll be playing the easy army, mainly because the harder settings armies take a long time to set themselves up, and there's a lot of waiting around for resources to build up and for construction, for buildings to build, and so forth. So that's what we're going to do. Going to be an easy skirmish. Me starting at the north position, with the computer easy army starting at the southern position. And we're going to get to actually start the game at this point. We've got about 7 minutes left, so let's see if I can explain some stuff here. Loading up. And here we are inside a blank castle. Now, one of the first things you want to do, and I often forget it, is close your gates. Both sides start out with the same thing, a castle and 2 battalions. In the case of the Isengard, it'll be 2 battalions of orcs and an Isengard castle, which we hopefully will see at the end of this. Now notice I'm getting these little numbers. This is my citadel. It's producing 5 points every few seconds of revenue. That's to assure that you're never caught without some source of resources. I also have a power. I'm going to go with the heal power, which lets you heal one of your units and replace up to 1 dead soldier. Now, the first thing to do, obviously, is to build up the castle. We're going to be putting towers and so forth on it, but we need more resources. So in order to do that, we're going to build some farms here. Now notice that I've built 3 farms. I've used up all my resources. So I'm going to need another source of resources here. Obviously, resources have to be coming in faster. So, let's see. I'll tell you what I can do. I made a mistake here. This is good because it'll show you what you can do if you make a mistake. I should have conserved some resources. There we are. To build a sally port. Notice, otherwise, the only way in or out of this little ring is through these gates, and you have to open and close them every time you want your troops to go in or out, and you don't want to have to do that. So, now that that's done, we can go out and capture another resource builder. Here's a spot for a farm. And there go my soldiers. Notice they're pink. That was the pink of the that I chose for my color. The banners hanging down here are all pink. The enemy colors will be blue. Here we are coming up to the resource. I can start that. Start that building, and I want to show you something while that's doing. Notice the further I get away from my castle, the less I can see. This is the fog of war. There are some more points that can be built up. some encampments. So the enemy can't see any more of me than I can of them. Now let's see, what have we got here? Is there anything else I can build up? Well, there is. There's a farm way over there. So let's send my troops over to that point. Now I can save some time and trouble. Here's that same point on the map.
Go forth!
Clicking on there, they'll head that way. Now let's put in some more farms. Farms outside the walls are cheaper to build. They only cost 200, but on the other hand they're more vulnerable to attack because there's nothing to protect them, so...
The farm is ready!
Let's follow my little soldiers over here. Now you can put them in formations.
Soldiers!
For example, if you put them into
We have the new defensive position!
the line formation, that's the standard. This is the block formation, which is a little more defensive, but slows them down by about 50%, so... Whoops, there's a war glare there. If we're careful, maybe we can build it without them noticing us.
Swords! Stay together!
If they notice us, we're in trouble. Oops, did they notice us?
Prepare for battle! Let's go! It's the enemy! Take cover, men!
Uh-oh. Maybe we can make it back to the castle.
We have the new farm! To the castle!
Maybe we can outrun the wargs. Yes, we did it. I'm going to leave that warg thing there because it's going to pose a problem for enemy soldiers when they do eventually discover my castle, my farm, and start working on it, start destroying it. I'm going to use my heal just so I can illustrate how it works. There we are. And I'm about to end this first video, and when we get back I'll continue with building up my castle. Old Farkey Wester, signing off.